I nearly lost a testicle while my girlfriend ignored my calls for help, laughed at my pain, and blocked me so she could keep clubbing. Now she's begging for another chance. I and my girlfriend have been together for 5 years. We've been together since high school, and until recently, I always saw her as my future wife. I even bought a ring and was planning to propose in the coming months. Last weekend, however, things took an unexpected turn. It was her best friend's birthday, and she and her friends had booked a private lounge at a club. I didn't go because 1. I wasn't invited, and 2. I dislike clubbing. I was looking forward to a quiet evening alone, binging on Netflix or something. My girlfriend left around 9 p.m., and I just crashed on the couch to watch some YouTube. But around 11 p.m., I started feeling a sharp pain in my stomach, similar to being hit in the groin. At first, I thought it was just a trick my body was playing on me, but the pain intensified rapidly. Within minutes, it became excruciating, and I found myself curled up in the fetal position on the couch. The pain got so bad that I noticed my right testicle beginning to swell. I tried to get up to grab my phone, but I collapsed on the floor. The pain felt like it was relentless, like being pelted in the groin repeatedly. I managed to crawl to the table and get my phone. I tried calling my girlfriend, but she didn't answer. I texted her, explaining that something was wrong and asking her to come home immediately. The club is just a 5-minute walk from our apartment. I then began throwing up from the pain. After a minute of vomiting, the pain slightly subsided, so I checked my phone again. Her response was, "What is it?" I tried calling her once more, but she didn't pick up. I texted her again, saying I needed to go to the hospital. Her reply was asking why, so I simply said, "My balls hurt." I then called emergency services and explained my situation. The responder asked if someone could drive me to the hospital, and I stupidly said yes, hoping my girlfriend would arrive soon and drive me. I felt embarrassed about calling an ambulance for something related to my testicles. The emergency responder said she would call back in 10 minutes to check if I was being driven to the hospital. I hung up and continued vomiting on the carpet. After the pain eased slightly, I checked my phone again and saw that my girlfriend had responded with laughing emojis. I tried calling her again, but she had blocked me. Feeling desperate and in severe pain, I called emergency services again and requested an ambulance. The wait felt like forever, but eventually, the ambulance arrived and took me to the hospital. I don't remember much of the surgery because I was sedated, but I woke up to find my right testicle being stitched up. The doctor informed me that I had a testicular torsion and that I was extremely lucky to get to the hospital in time. If I hadn't, I might have had to have my testicle removed. I checked my phone and saw missed calls and messages from my girlfriend. In summary, she had come home, smelled the vomit, and realized something was wrong. When she couldn't find me, it finally hit her that I was serious. I texted her the hospital details and my room number, then went back to sleep. The next morning, I woke up to find my girlfriend asleep on a couch next to my bed. When she woke up, she bombarded me with apologies, saying she thought I was joking and that I was trying to ruin her night. I was too exhausted to argue and stayed silent. I was deeply hurt by her actions and considered breaking up with her right then and there. I can't understand why she would ignore my urgent messages and stay out at the club until 3 a.m. without even thinking to check on me. She did stay with me at the hospital for the next 2 days and took good care of me, but I'm still very upset. Since returning home, I've been thinking about ending our relationship, but I'm conflicted. I'm unsure if I'm overreacting or if she genuinely made a mistake. How should I navigate this situation? She prioritized partying over a phone call in the hospital, still blocked you, and was planning on yelling about the vomiting. I wish you well in your healing. Low beams. Former paramedic here. Dude, when you're in that level of pain, don't call your girlfriend. Call emergency services. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Oh, an NTA, but your GF is. They have a strong disconnect in communication styles. If they get married before figuring it out, they're going to blame each other. What is her communication style in this scenario? I don't think there's enough info on how they communicate. My wife would laugh if I said my balls hurt, but would also drop everything if I told her I was serious. If OP has never had an emergency in this relationship, especially being so young, it's not unreasonable to assume their GF thought it was a joke. This can be an excellent moment for discussions. OP, she did stay by you and feels awful about her initial reaction. You never need a reason to end a relationship, but if you have a desire to stay, use this as a chance to set up clearer communication. Jokes are well and good, but blocking is too far. Going forward, that also means when you are joking, you need clarity on what's too far so blocking isn't required. NTA sorry someone cast testicular torsion on you. Update. First of all, thank you all for the amazing support. It's been overwhelming, and I'm working through the many unread messages. I promise I'll respond to all of them eventually. I want to clarify some misconceptions from my last post. No, I've never pulled any malicious pranks on my girlfriend to get her to come home early from a night out. I don't have an issue with her going out, as long as she doesn't come home at 6 a.m. And no, I haven't bombarded her with messages while she was out with friends. We usually go out together since we share the same friend groups. Here are the messages between us on WhatsApp, showing the full conversation. Me, called twice, declined. Her, please come home, something is wrong. Her, can't talk right now. What is it? Me, tried calling her again, I need to go to the hospital. Her, what? Me, tried calling her twice, but my balls hurt. Please come now, something is wrong. Her, responded with laughing emojis. Me, tried calling her again twice after calling emergency services. Her, I swear, don't bother me again or I'm blocking you. Let me enjoy my night out. Me, tried calling her again twice and got blocked. At this point, the pain was too severe to try anything else with her, so I called an ambulance. Her next message after unblocking me at 2 a.m, my name, why is there vomit in the living room, and where are you? Why is the front door unlocked if you left? She then went into a full mental breakdown when she realized I was serious about going to the hospital. I received over 70 messages from her. It was a mistake not to immediately call an ambulance, but in that level of pain, you don't always think clearly. I was hoping for moral support and didn't realize how bad things were until it was too late. I was embarrassed about calling an ambulance for something related to my testicles, which, in hindsight, was a poor decision. The mental gymnastics some people did in the comments to portray me as needy for contacting my girlfriend were surprising. If the roles were reversed, I doubt anyone would defend me. Now for the update, I'm doing much better and recovering well. Not being able to work for the next 3 weeks is a setback since I work in construction and lift heavy weights. I'm also advised to avoid sex for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm dealing with some trauma from the pain, as I sometimes get similar sensations randomly. As for my girlfriend and me, it's complicated. As many of you and my mom advised, 5 years is too long to just throw away without having a proper conversation. So, I did just that. I told her how hurt I felt by her ignoring my messages and declining my calls. While clubs are loud, there are usually places to talk. We need to address our communication issues, and I hope this can lead to better understanding between us. Blocking me after I tried calling her. Her not check on me once, even though the club she went to was only a 5-minute walk from our apartment. Her being angry about the vomit, instead of being concerned. After hearing that, she got defensive and told me that I could have conveyed my situation better and that she genuinely thought I was joking. She was drunk and wasn't thinking clearly. She also told me it couldn't have been that painful and that I was exaggerating. I then acknowledged that I could have phrased my messages better and apologized for that. However, I explained the severe pain I was in and how I barely had the strength to text her, let alone give a detailed description of what was happening to me. I couldn't think straight amidst all the agony. Upon hearing this, she started crying and apologized for her actions. She said if she had known how serious it was, we wouldn't have had this argument. She also apologized for her anger over the vomit, explaining that she was drunk and tired and had been expressing frustration rather than genuine anger. I then asked her why she thought I was joking and whether she was cheating on me, as her reaction was out of character. She cried even harder and looked like I had slapped her. She said she thought I was insecure about her being at the club with a bunch of guys and reassured me that she wasn't cheating and would never do that. We then hugged for about 10 minutes. The next part was very difficult for me. I told her I needed some space to gather my thoughts and that she should stay with her parents for the time being. She immediately had a mental breakdown, asking if I was breaking up with her. I said I wasn't sure yet and needed time to determine if I could still trust her after this. What she did was incredibly disrespectful, and I questioned how I could trust someone with my life after they treated me like this. I explained that we were young and that this situation highlighted our immaturity. It was a significant life lesson for both of us. After some pleading, she packed a few essentials and left. This happened 2 days ago, and this is where we currently stand. I still provide her updates on my healing, but we don't contact each other otherwise. I'm torn about what to do next. Although her owning up to her mistake shows remorse, I still struggle with trust. This behavior is out of character for her, but there will need to be significant boundaries and new rules if we continue. Here are my thoughts on what those might include. If she blocks me again, it will mean she's blocking herself from seeing me again. Ignoring my messages will no longer be acceptable. If she goes out alone again, she must answer if I call, regardless of the situation. 4. Implementing an emergency code like hospital to communicate serious issues. I don't plan to abuse these boundaries but want peace of mind knowing my partner has my best interests at heart, even when physically absent. Thank you all for your support. This experience has been an eye-opener for me. Should I get back together with her? If yes, are these demands reasonable, and should I add anything more? What if I decide to end the relationship over this? Comments. GLONH, timing doesn't mean you have to stay with someone, it just delays the end. If you can't get past the lack of trust, ending it would be justified. You're not an asshole for either decision, just follow your instincts. Local record 777. I'd have a hard time getting past being blocked during a relationship. It signifies a lack of partnership. For me, such behavior would be a significant breach of trust. Whitecore, your partner's actions are major red flags. If my partner blocked me or didn't pick up during an emergency, it would be a serious breach of trust. A caring partner would drop everything to help. Story 2. I discovered that my long-distance girlfriend of a year was married the whole time, so I met with her husband, exposed the affair, and got my revenge. About a year ago, I, a 29-year-old male, met a 31-year-old female at a conference in Baltimore. I was there for work and didn't expect anything serious, but we hit it off. After hooking up, we exchanged numbers and kept in touch. Although we lived about an hour apart, we managed a long-distance relationship, seeing each other once or twice a month and staying in touch through texts and calls. I loved seeing her and felt a strong connection. I believed our relationship had potential. However, in hindsight, I realized that I was putting more effort into it than she was. I didn't think much about it until I spoke with a friend about us. I explained how my girlfriend would visit me, but I rarely visited her. To clarify, it wasn't for lack of trying. I had expressed a desire to travel to her apartment and meet her friends. My friend found this odd. She suggested it was unusual that my girlfriend didn't want me to visit her. While we laughed it off, the conversation made me think more deeply. I thought I knew my girlfriend well from our conversations. I knew her favorite TV shows and books, but not much about her family. When I asked her more about her background during a phone call, she said there wasn't much to discuss. She briefly mentioned being an only child and her parents having passed away. This explanation seemed plausible, so I moved on. Months went by, and she still didn't want me to visit her. I wanted to meet her friends and see the city she lived in because I was considering suggesting we move in together. Despite my repeated requests, she always shut down the idea. Our interactions were mostly sexual, with little depth. I initially thought it was because we were apart for so long, but the lack of meaningful conversation was starting to bother me. Discussing my frustrations with another friend, he suggested that I might be a side piece. I was shocked and hurt by this suggestion. I felt we had something special, and the thought that it might be less than I believed was devastating. My friend pointed out that her secrecy about her life could mean she was hiding something, possibly a partner or family. At first, I dismissed this idea, but after some reflection, I began to see merit in it. I researched similar situations online and found that many matched my circumstances. I had asked my girlfriend for her social media early in our relationship, but she claimed not to have any. She had expressed disdain for social media, so I believed her. However, I later discovered her profile online and found that she had blocked me. This secrecy made me suspect she was hiding something. I created a fake account to view her profile and saw that she was married, with photos suggesting a young child. I then looked up her husband's social media and discovered they had been together since high school. Realizing this confirmed my suspicions. Feeling conflicted, I knew I had to end the relationship, but I wanted to inform her husband and make her aware of the consequences of her actions. I found out he was a realtor and arranged a meeting with him under the pretense of buying a house. I made sure the meeting was scheduled when my girlfriend wasn't home, as I didn't want her to find out beforehand. During the meeting, I revealed that I wasn't interested in buying a house but needed to tell him about the affair. I explained how I met his wife and shared screenshots and videos of our conversations. He was shocked and mentioned that she had been telling him she was working weekends, which seemed to align with her visits to me. He thanked me for the information and said he would figure out what to do next. Afterward, I felt sick to my stomach, wondering if there was another person involved. 2 days later, she called me, furious. She accused me of ruining her marriage and blamed me for digging into her life. I was taken aback that she was blaming me, as it was her choice to lie and have an affair. If I had known she was married, I never would have pursued her. She wasn't wearing her ring during our initial meeting, which should have been a red flag. After that call, I haven't heard from her since. Her husband ended up divorcing her, and I learned she was living with her mother while looking for a new place. I couldn't help but laugh when I realized she had lied about her parents being deceased. I'm just relieved to be past this chapter of my life and hope to meet someone who is genuinely single and with whom I can be happy. Hey there, amazing people. Get ready to smash that subscribe button on the YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to turn on notifications. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to catch you in the next video. Stay awesome.